My millionaire boss leaned back and smirked. Congrats, Patricia. We're promoting Susan. She's smarter, faster, and way more useful than you'll ever be. Honestly, you should be grateful we kept you this long. The team chuckled as my face burned. I slid an envelope across his desk and said, thanks for the opportunity. He had no idea what was inside. You know that gut-wrenching moment when an entire room erupts in applause for an injustice, and you realize this is it. The moment you stop playing nice and unleash 15 years of pure, unadulterated fury? That was me. Harold, my boss, was absolutely basking in the glow of management's approval, completely oblivious, while Jennifer from marketing was shaking the hand of Susan, the woman who'd just been promoted over me. Mike from operations was already talking transition plans. And me? I was pulling an envelope from my briefcase that was about to utterly obliterate every single person in that room who had ever laughed at my humiliation. My 15 years of quiet suffering were about to end in the most spectacularly satisfying way imaginable. But to really understand that moment, we have to go back. Not to that meeting, not even to last week when Harold called it. This whole saga started 15 years ago. I was just 25, fresh out of business school, walking through those gleaming glass doors for the first time. My hair was pulled back in a tight bun, my mother's pearl earrings were in for luck, and I clutched the leather portfolio my father gave me for graduation. I genuinely thought I was stepping into my dream job at Meridian Solutions. Harold was different back then. Younger, hungrier, still trying to prove himself worthy of the CEO position, his father-in-law had basically just handed him. He hired me as a junior marketing associate, full of promises about growth and mentorship, and I believed him. I needed to believe him. My student loans weren't going to pay themselves, and his offer was generous enough for me to finally get my own apartment instead of moving back home. Those early years, they were intoxicating. I threw myself into everything, staying late to perfect presentations, coming in on weekends to research new markets, volunteering for assignments nobody else wanted. When Harold needed someone to handle the Miller Industries account, my hand shot up. When the Henderson Group demanded a complete rebranding strategy in 3 weeks, I pulled it off. When our biggest client threatened to leave, I flew to Chicago on my own dime and saved that relationship. Each win felt like a brick building towards something monumental. Harold would call me into his office after these major wins, pour himself a whiskey, and tell me I was his secret weapon. He'd lean back in that massive leather chair and say, Patricia, you're going to run this place someday. I saved every single email where he praised my work. I kept copies of client thank you letters that specifically mentioned my contributions. I documented absolutely everything because I truly believed I was building my case for advancement. The Meridian account. That was my masterpiece. 6 months of painstaking research, competitor analysis, and strategic planning that resulted in a campaign so successful it tripled their market share in our region. The day the client called to extend their contract for another 5 years, Harold scheduled an emergency meeting. I walked in, my heart thrumming with excitement, expecting congratulations, maybe even a discussion about that promotion he'd been hinting at. Instead, Harold announced that Tom Richardson would be taking over as marketing director. Tom, who'd been with the company for 8 months and whose biggest accomplishment, as far as I could tell, was not spilling coffee on his keyboard. But Harold, I remember saying, my voice coming out smaller than I intended, the Meridian account was my project from start to finish. He didn't even look up from his paperwork. Tom brings a fresh perspective. Sometimes we get too close to our work, Patricia. Besides, you're so good at execution. Why fix what isn't broken? That was it. That was the moment I realized Harold's compliments were actually chains. Being into full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.